Hey, it's been a while. I can't remember the last time we posted a video. I think it's been a couple months. Um, I won't go into too much detail, but it's partly because the coronavirus, and I'm no longer working at home anymore. I'm back at the office, so that kind of taken up a lot of my time. But also, part of it is because there's not a whole lot to show out here on the land, because not a lot's happening, because we're kind of in this planning stage, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Um, and then again, without going too much into detail, we had purchased some plans online, and they didn't include everything that we would need them to include in order to get a permit here in California. Essentially, the plans were just architectural drawings. There was nothing structural. There's no cross sections. There's no mechanical plans or electrical plans or plumbing. No foundation plan as far as structural goes, and can't really get a permit. I don't know if you can get a permit anywhere with just what we were given. So rather than taking these plans to a structural engineer and then to another architect that's California licensed to kind of finish everything out and spend thousands more dollars, we decided, or rather, I guess I decided and convinced Emily to let me get AutoCAD, redraw the plans, and in the process, we ended up being a great thing for us. So we were able to take the plans. There was a few things that we weren't really too excited about, so we decided to kind of modify them a little further and get them to a place where every single room we're extremely happy with. And when we move into the house, we can hopefully eliminate a lot of regrets, as far as walking into a room and not being completely happy with it. So that's kind of the basics of it. And so, like I said, we redrew the house plans rather than going back to this designer or going to a California architect or engineer to finish it out, because we have to have, in our county, there's a checklist of everything we need, and we probably got maybe an eighth. We purchased, like, the plans only included about an eighth of what we really need. So we're gonna I'm going to show you what our house is going to look like and what the plans look like and kind of walk you through. They're not 100% done, but we're about 90% of the way there. Hopefully a little bit further along, maybe 90 to 95%, but making really good progress. And I just want to get these as detailed and clear as possible, so when we submit them, we get a permit quickly and there's not a bunch of questions from the county. So with that, let's look at the plans. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at our house plans, or the ones that are, currently in progress. This might be a little bit of a long video, and I don't want to split this video up into multiple parts. I just want to kind of run through it. So I'll try to be as quick as possible, and maybe down the line, or in the future, I can do some follow-up videos if there's any questions about anything. So this first plan we're looking at, and if you're someone who's designed a house and use AutoCAD and you have your own process and workflow and you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, yeah, you're probably right, because I don't do this for a living. This is the first time I've ever used AutoCAD. This is the first time I've ever designed a house. So proper workflow, I don't know what it is. I've seen some way some people do it, and this is just kind of the way I decided to do it, just because it's a similar workflow to what you see in kind of the graphic design world. So I have an individual file for each plan, where I've seen other people when they're designing buildings, they have the plans all in one document. That's not how I did it here. Mine's kind of one document for each plan. Anyways, so let's just jump into it. This right here is the basement of the house, what we're looking at. So we're building a 2-story house, and it has a walkout basement. And we'll get to what the elevations look like here in a second. But before we do that, I just want to show the floor plans and show you what kind of the space looks like. So this is the basement. The ceiling height will be that of a regular size room, or a regular size. The basement ceiling height is going to be the same as the first and second floor. That way, the ceiling doesn't feel really small. It doesn't feel like a basement. We want it to feel like another level of the house, and we want it to be a comfortable living space because we really do intend to use it as such. So you'll see we plan on having an office here, a recreation room, kind of the sitting room up here. Kind of generic label. We don't know exactly what that's going to be, but kind of just a place to come and relax. It can be a place for we can entertain. We can have like toys down here for our daughter, future kids. The rec room is kind of the same thing. We might have like a little workout gym or something over here. And then back down on this area here is just storage and mechanical. So furnace, water heater, yeah, air conditioning. Don't know if I said that. So that's the basics of that. Yeah, so I've redrawn this, have all the dimensions in there, kind of have our elevation marks and or cross section marks. But you can kind of see what this looks like. I'm not going to go too much into detail here because it doesn't really have a lot to say. You can kind of see the labels as far as what we're doing. But one thing I did say is it is a walkout basement. So this is a retaining wall here, and there's also another retaining wall up here. So this section and this section will actually be visible from outside. So we'll have a French door that leads out to the backyard, and then this side just has some nice windows. All right, on to the main floor, the exciting floor. Okay, so a lot going on here, and if you've never seen building plans, I'll try to keep it simple. Might turn off some layers here too, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the front of the house. If you can see my cursor, right down here, see family room, and here's the front. There's a kind of wraparound porch here in the front with French doors that lead into the family room. I'll kind of zoom in. This is a 2-story family room. So what that means is essentially instead of it being a 9-foot ceiling, it's going to be 18 feet or really close to 20 feet because you don't have the structure for your second floor. So really tall ceilings for the family room. We'll have a big feature fireplace right here in the middle, and it's a see-through fireplace too. This will actually go the full height of the building also, so that like 20 feet, it's going to go all the way to the top. Behind the fireplace is our dining room, which again has that fireplace too, so you can see through it. The dining room will be a standard height, or at least standard height for us, which is a 9-foot ceiling. It won't be going all the way to the top because we have a second floor that's right above the dining room. Off to the right-hand side is our kitchen. And this is an area where we made pretty significant modifications from the original plan. We made this kitchen bigger, kind of a little bit lengthwise, and also we made it wider so that we could accommodate a bigger island in the kitchen. And let me actually turn off the dimensions here, just so it's not crowding everything. So it's a little strange if you're seeing this and you're kind of wondering what's going on here. But our plan is we'll have a 6-burner, really kind of an 8-burner oven or range. And it's actually going to have this nice little niche that it tucks into. So you have like this really, I guess, just really cool looking, really nice cooking space. And then it'll be a nice hood vent, custom hood vent that's above it. We haven't decided on the finishing for it. We might do like stucco, or maybe it'll be like a wood feature. We're still working on kind of the finishing details. But that's kind of what's going on here if you're wondering why we have these walls sticking out. It's because it's a cooking niche, as we'll call it. Really, really long countertop through here. And the only thing on this countertop, which is nice, is just our double basin farm sink and a dishwasher right next to it. one of the things we really wanted to do with this house is we don't want to have upper cabinets. So we wanted to make sure that we would have enough cabinet space in the kitchen. So that's one of the reasons we made the kitchen bigger. And one of the reasons we positioned our appliances the way we have is because we want to have enough countertop space. And we also wanted to have big windows coming down this side here, or at least have like a panoramic view out to the side of the house. Refrigerators on this side. This is the only area of the kitchen that'll have some uppers because we're going to wrap the refrigerator with kind of custom cabinetry. And then right here you can see is kind of our big island. Nothing in this island either. We initially wanted the sink to be in the island, but when we saw it, we decided, no, it's taking up too much space. Let's just have it a really nice big slab of most likely quartz. And then there'll be cabinets underneath it. But we really liked the countertop peninsula we had in our previous house. So we wanted to go with another really big island and just kind of a statement piece. Really, really nice to have in the kitchen. And then it has an overhang that you can kind of see here so that we can have some bar stools that come up to the island. Okay. Sorry about that. Don't know if that popped up on screen, but if it did, sorry about that error message that popped up. Okay, on to the next thing. So we decided, again, another modification to the original plans. We wanted to have kind of a butler's pantry, which this may not be considered, I don't know what you really consider a butler's pantry. We just wanted to make sure we had a big pantry. And it's also kind of a prep kitchen also. So we're thinking like coffee maker, microwave, kind of those appliances that you usually have out in the kitchen. We want our kitchen to be very clean. We want the countertops cleared off, and anything that would be considered like a countertop appliance would live in our pantry. And we might make some custom cabinetry to fit some of those things in there. But of course, it's also so we can have a good place for food and storing all of our food. A nice door that comes in from the garage into the pantry and then into the kitchen. So just kind of thinking about the flow of, when we buy groceries and everything, what's the easiest route to get our food into the house and what makes sense. And that was to make sure we have a pantry right here. Make it easy. Okay, kind of continuing to go this direction, kind of counterclockwise. We have this 2-car garage, nothing too fancy, pretty standard size. We don't have oversized vehicles, and we don't plan on having oversized vehicles, at least not right now. And if we do in the future, we'll just, park them outside or something. I'm not concerned about that. So yeah, just a regular sized garage, entry into the pantry, and then we also have an entry into the next section of the house, which is our mud room. So this was another significant modification to the original plans. Previously, this was an enclosed patio. This whole section, I'll kind of highlight it for you. This whole section here in green used to be like an enclosed patio. And we decided that we wanted to actually put a powder room here. We wanted a nice sized laundry room and a mud room. And Emily and I spent a lot of time on this section where right now it looks a little simple. But it took us quite a while to kind of figure out what made the most sense and where to place things. So we had a few different iterations of what this room would look like, or this area of the house, and it came out, I think, looking pretty awesome. I'm excited about it because we get our mud room, we get a nice laundry and linen closet here, and the powder room is like we're not sacrificing any space in that guest bathroom. So happy about that. And then we have a hallway now, which wasn't there either, where we can actually get out to the outside deck. And I might talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So then over here we have our master bedroom, really good sized master bedroom. And we'll have big windows on this side, which is on the south side of the house. Over on this side, there's 3 more windows. You can't tell from this view, but these won't be as tall. So these won't be like your floor to ceiling windows. They're going to be a little higher and they'll be above the bed. At least for now, that's what we're thinking. So kind of smaller square windows right above the bed, and we put the bed kind of in this area here. Okay, and going into, continuing in the master suite, we actually have 2 master closets or walk-in closets. We have this one off to the right. Just good sized closet. One will be for me, the other one is for Emily, and the other walk-in closet is down here, which that one has some natural light with the window coming in. And it's kind of open. This whole area is open. It'll have some cased openings. Rather than having doors, the original plans called for a pocket door. I'm not crazy about pocket doors. We had a pocket door in our other house, and it just, you kind of, how can I put this? The structure of the wall is kind of compromised, in my opinion. I mean, if you put it into a 2x6 wall, it's probably okay, but in this area of the house, it's only 2x4 walls. So I was like, I don't want to put, even though it's not a load-bearing wall, I still don't like the idea of having a pocket door there. And it just felt like, okay, let's just have a cased opening. It'll be really nice, and just, no real reason to have a door here anyways. We have a door to the water closet, so if anybody's using the bathroom, they have their privacy. We'll have a shower here. This will be a curbless shower. People give me strange looks when I say curbless. So what that means, if you think about your shower at home, usually there's like this block that you have to step over, and it's usually wrapped in tile or some other kind of waterproof material. A curbless shower essentially means that that's not there. And there's some kind of structural things you have to do to accomplish this. We did it in our old house by kind of lowering that part of the foundation to where we could have a curbless shower. It's just a really nice look to it, and then you can kind of avoid that little tripping hazard of that block or that curb that's usually on the entrance. Let's see, a little bit more detail here. Right now this is drawn as a wall coming through here, almost like a pony wall, but we're actually going to remove this, and instead we're going to have just a glass panel that wraps around all the way. That way we can extend this by a few extra inches and just have a really nice kind of clean, modern look to our shower. Okay, so I think that does it for the first floor, or the main level. And on the outside, to touch on this back patio or deck, this again was something we decided to add in, just because it felt appropriate, as far as we like to eat outside and we like to entertain outside. And the main level didn't really have any kind of access to the backyard, because you're essentially, when you go to the backyard, you're essentially on a second level. So we decided to put a deck out here where we can put some patio furniture, barbecue grills and chairs, and then some stairs that then go down to kind of the basement level, or to what will be the ground level. Okay, so that, I think, does it for the main level. All right, so then let's go up the stairs, and you'll see stairs here. I'll touch on this a little bit too before we move on. The basement too has the stairs. They're all in the same place, and that's kind of how it was in the original plans. And we like the idea of having the stairs that way, because it'll be like this really nice open staircase, kind of floating stairs. And what I mean by floating stairs, just to be clear, I don't mean each tread is going to be kind of floating and have a very minimalistic kind of modern look to it. It's just that there won't be any structure underneath the stairs, and there won't be any walls in between each one. So previously there was a wall kind of coming through here, if you can see where it's blue. There used to be a wall right here. I decided to remove that, and instead we'll just kind of use the perimeter walls to support the entire staircase, plus a post right in the middle, and that'll all support the staircase. So then when you see it, the main reason for doing this is because when you go from the main level to the basement, again, we don't want it to feel like a basement. We want it to feel like it's a part of the house. We want it to feel like it's a real living level of the house instead of kind of a dark, dingy place. Okay, so then on to the second floor. Second floor, it's a little bit smaller, um, but that's okay because we don't need a ton of space. We've already got a lot of living space on the main level, and even more living space in the basement. And if we ever needed to add a bedroom in the future, we can always just convert one of the spaces in the basement to a bedroom. Um, yeah, so the second floor is 2 bedroom, and each bedroom is a really good size. They're not small by any means. Um, I mean, the smallest of the two is 14 by 12, so that's really good for like a child's bedroom. It's bigger than what they need. It has a walk-in closet, kind of a smaller walk-in closet, and then the other bedroom has a really good-sized walk-in closet. And then the bathroom right in the middle. Didn't want to do a Jack and Jill. I've never been a fan of Jack and Jills. Because usually you end up with like pocket doors, or I don't know. It's just strange to me because somebody goes in the bathroom, they don't really have full privacy because you got to lock both doors, and then one of the doors might be left locked, and I don't know. It's just not a good kind of living experience, at least in my mind. So we just went with a nice sized full bath, double vanity. So if we have 2 kids, they can be getting ready for school at the same time. Shower tub combo, and of course a toilet. The upstairs, like I mentioned on the main level, the upstairs, this section here is open to the living room below. So actually, if you're up at the top of the stairs landing, you can actually have a really nice view outside through these upper level windows. So it would be really nice. We'll get a lot of natural light kind of blowing through the house. Yeah, just really just kind of aesthetically pleasing. And then, of course, we have the chimney that's coming all the way up through here. This is the chase, which will go all the way through the attic, through the roof, and then up to the chimney. Okay. And to give you a sense of scale, I'll hide those dimensions. Hide this too. You can kind of see the rest of the building with this line here. It's kind of a thin line. Maybe you can see it, but that kind of shows where the rest of the house is. So this is the garage area. This is where the majority of the master bedroom is at. The laundry room, powder room, mud room is right here, and then this is the kitchen and pantry on this side, with the wraparound porch right here. Okay. And on to the roof. Probably not, I won't talk too much about this. You just kind of see a little bit more of the footprint. I'll actually hide these trusses. I've been working on the structural part of it, and these are the trusses. But you can kind of see, again, kind of the footprint of the actual house. So garage, the actual house, kitchen, wraparound porch, and a deck. Let's see. And then we'll jump into the cross sections. We're almost there, I promise. We're almost to the elevations where you can actually see what the house looks like, which is kind of the exciting part, right? Okay, so the first cross section, looking straight, this is from north to south, looking into the house. First thing is the family room, and you can see kind of, okay, big fireplace goes all the way to the top. Furniture, kind of the obvious things. You have your wraparound porch, just kind of showing what that structure looks like. You can start to see a little bit of what the stairs look like. Our roof truss is here. Yeah, chimney at the top, and then your basement level. So we're looking at, you got your footings, the basement slab, and then a stem wall here. This is just backfill, or it's kind of, yeah, it's just ground that's being, trying to show where the ground level is going to be. Not too much to see there, or not too much I'll go into detail. You can see, this is mainly about showing some of the structure and how things are pieced together from different angles. And you can kind of see, okay, here's an I-joist. This is insulation, this orange piece. Um, this is a rim board here. This is the sill plates, double top plates, and here's a stud with some insulation, because yes, it is necessary to insulate the walls inside of a basement. Um, Otherwise, it won't be climate controlled. So, okay, and you see some of the basement here. This is the first part of the basement, which is storage and mechanical. Okay, and then I'll go to the next cross section here. This is kind of like, I guess you'd say like a CAT scan. I think it's like a CAT scan where you're looking at little like slices, right? So this is the next slice of the house. We're getting a little closer to the center. So we see some more. You're seeing some of the kitchen, the island here with the overhang, a bar stool, some of the counters here. See a little bit of the structure of the fireplace. So how how is it going to be framed? The big thing here, though, that we're focusing on is kind of the staircase and how that's being supported. I'm still working on this drawing and finalizing it, but you kind of see how that staircase goes all the way up. And you can see all the way down too. So again, tying it in, everything, nothing, we don't want anything to feel like a basement. And like I mentioned earlier, you can see that our ceiling height for the basement is actually set up for a 9-foot ceiling. So 9 feet, 1 1/4. So once you have finished flooring and drywall on the roof or on the ceiling, it'll basically be 9 feet. And that ceiling height is the same as the main floor and the second floor or upper floor. Okay. Some kind of interesting things I want to talk about here is in the kitchen. The kitchen has a vaulted ceiling. So in order to support that, we're actually going to have what's called a glulam, which is an engineered beam. It's essentially a bunch of 2x4s attached together with glue, with wood glue, and they do some other things. It gets a little technical for me, but that's what it is. It'll be exposed, so it'll be stained, and these rafters here will actually be, instead of using trusses, these will be, I think right now they're going to be 2x10s, and those will be stained also. So the ceiling above the kitchen will be, the idea is to have all the wood up there stained. There may be still drywall in between each rafter, or we may even later upgrade that to be like a cedar shiplap at the top. But again, finishing details that we still have to flesh out. Let's see, you can see some of the structure here. This area here is showing that there's going to be like a truss hanger attached to a girder truss. I won't go into that too much, kind of technical things, but there you go, starting to see some of the house. And the last two cross sections for north to south. Again, you're starting to see, everything looks pretty similar. We're just kind of going a little bit further into the house. So now we're past the fireplace. We can see the dining room. We're able to see a little bit of what the master bath looks like. So in the master bath, you can see this is what a curbless shower is, right? So I don't have a block here that you have to step over. Instead, the framing, the floor framing has actually been adjusted to where we use a shorter eye joist here. So in this area, it's a 14-inch eye joist. Here, it's an 11 7/8 eye joist. And that's going to allow us to actually have the proper slope for our shower pan. So we can have that curbless shower. You can start to see some of the second floor framing. So we have your eye joists, which are actually going the opposite direction. Or I should say perpendicular to the floor joists. And that's just because right now it makes more sense to do that with the way that floor plan is. Now, a structural engineer may have me change it, but for right now, that's what I'm doing, and it's what I'll send to the structural engineer for sign-off. Let's see. I actually want to go back to this other one and talk about this. Again, I like getting into the details, so feel free to skip forward if you want. But because this kitchen is actually, it has a vaulted ceiling, and it has there's no posts in between, and I'll go to the main floor. You can see how open it is. You know, this whole area is open, and it's like, how far is it? It's like 18 feet, I want to say. Um, so you got to have some pretty strong support there. But one of the challenges too is that not only is that supporting the structure above it, it's supporting a large glulam beam that's coming through here, and it's also supporting this section of the second floor. So there's a lot of weight bearing on it. So if I go back to that cross section, you can see there's right now it's a 3-ply, trying to remember, yeah, it'll be I think there's 18-inch, yeah, 18-inch, it'll be 3 18-inch LVLs kind of, sandwiched together to hopefully provide enough structure. And because it attaches to an exterior wall, we can make this beam as tall as it needs to be to kind of satisfy the engineer. So if I have to make this a 24-inch LVL, it will have the space to do it. So, and again, that's supporting the weight of this glulam. It's supporting this exterior wall, the roof that's coming down above it, supporting all of this, and it's also supporting the LVL that's running across this section here. So this beam right here is probably supporting the most weight in the entire house. So it's really, really crucial to get that right. Okay. And then again, you can kind of see there's that beam again. Again, there's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. Those would be supported right now by a 6x6 post on either side of the kitchen. And again, I'm showing that right here. So there's a 6x6 post here and another one here. I'm hoping that I don't have to get steel in here. I think that the 6x6 post should be strong enough to support everything, but we'll see. If there's going to be any steel in this building, it's going to be right here in this section. But I'll update you when I have more info on that. Anyways, okay, so getting a little further in to the house. This is our 3rd cross section. So again, getting closer to the back of the house. Starting to see the kitchen. You see that big range. You can see this cooking niche that we have. We'll have a custom hood vent in this area. This cased opening leads into the pantry. You can see that there's no upper shelves. We just have cabinets. We just have lower cabinets. A little bit more of the basement. You got the recreation room. Not much to show there. Some French doors that lead into the office. You see, we talked about the master bath already. And then you can see those bedrooms up top. And now we're getting to see a little bit of the garage also. Okay, so then the last cross section of the house, you get to see some of the master bedroom. You can kind of see the scale of it, so you can see the windows in here. Again, I'm still working on these things, so they're not completely finished. But yeah, so I'm still trying to put some of the detail in there so you can get a sense of the scale. So 3 windows here. I haven't drawn in the windows up here yet because I need to figure out exactly the placement. But once I get that, there'll be windows that kind of have to show that in the structure here. Here's the bed, just for scale. You can see kind of the size of the room. Here's the laundry and linen closet, the washer dryer pushed up against this wall. Some custom cabinetry in here, and then you can kind of see the powder room also. Good sized powder room. Nice vanity, simple basin, the big mirror, and plenty of room for the toilet. And then this hallway leads out to the backyard, or to the back deck. And I still need to put that door in here to kind of show that. You'll notice that this cross section looks a little different because there's no second floor above this section of the house. And as you can see, if we go back to the main floor plan, you can see that there's a line here that I have highlighted that shows where the second floor ends. Yeah. Let's go back to that, and you can see that that's kind of represented. Here's the top of the roof, and it's a 212 pitch, so it doesn't come up very high. It only comes up like a couple feet. And then we can see the garage on this side kind of coming together. Again, nothing special about the garage. It's a garage, 2-car garage, standard size. We're not doing custom garage doors or anything like that. Kind of unnecessary. Yeah, and these lines here are just kind of showing the roof trusses, and these are just the lookouts. So just kind of decorative pieces of wood that'll go out and give the house a little bit of character. Okay, so with that, and I know I'm going long on this. I think I've been talking for over 20 minutes now, but let's just keep going. Because here's the exciting part. Woohoo! Here is what our house is going to look like. Yay! So it is a modern farmhouse. That's kind of the style of it. That's what we're going for. Just nice angle on the roof. It's a 12-12. Everything is really symmetrical, which I like. Kind of nice chimney coming out the top center of the house. Beautiful wraparound porch here. All of our windows. The idea for me is not only is it kind of a nightmare to manage a bunch of different windows, and then you gotta, pay a lot of money for different windows, and if you do custom sizes, it's kind of a nightmare. We're trying to keep all of our windows, for the most part, the same. Now, I know we can't do that for the entire house, but for the most part, it'll give us, not only is it easier to order like 16 of these windows and keep them organized, and when we get into framing and putting the windows in, it'll be a lot easier to do all of that. But it also just makes the house look very symmetrical and very clean when this window here in the front of the house is the same that's up here in the the second story bedroom, and it's the same window that's down here on the garage, and the same that's here in the master walk-in closet. So wanted to keep it very uniform to keep things consistent. Yeah, so that's the front of the house. You can see here the elevation, so saying, how high is the house actually going to be from our baseline. Our baseline, or our kind of the zero elevation, is our basement slab, and then it works all the way up to the top of the chimney, which is at 44 feet. So pretty tall structure. All right, and the east side of the house. So if you're looking at the front of the house, this would be on the left. You can start to get an idea of, okay, how does the walkout basement actually look? So here's the wraparound porch. The front door is over here. You walk in. This is the master bedroom where I talked about those 3 windows that weren't kind of floor-to-ceiling windows. They're just smaller above the bed. These windows are in the master bathroom, and then you can see these windows down here are in the basement. So we have the office, and then this area is the recreation room. There's that retaining wall I was kind of talking about. Yeah. And then over here you can see we have the deck with some stairs that come down to that ground level, the backyard ground level, with another retaining wall back here. So one thing I want to point out, because this looks really tall, and that's because it is, because I drew these based off the original plans, which the original plans were wanting, they had it designed for truss floors, and with truss floors we would have to have like 24-inch trusses. But we're going to go a different route. Instead of doing trusses for the floor, we're going to do I-joists. So our I-joists are 14 inches, so that's going to save us 10 inches, which means that's 10 inches less that we need to dig down. It's a lot less concrete now, so it's going to save us a lot of money, and it's just going to it'll also be easier to work with because I-joists are a lot easier to work with than floor trusses, which have to be like perfect with the size. And I can't just go to the lumberyard and pick up a new truss. Whereas with an I-joist, I can go to the store or go to a lumberyard and pick up an I-joist if I need another one, and then I can kind of finish out the project. So I have some modifications that I need to make to this because I haven't come back to this part of the house or to the elevations since I started working on the cross sections and making those changes. Okay, the west elevation. So again, if you're looking at the front of the house, it'd be on the right side. You can see the garage. Again, like I mentioned, pretty standard garage, nothing too special. The garage doors just kind of match the aesthetic of the house. You can see that none of the basement is exposed on this side, kind of for obvious reasons, because the ground level has to be up with the garage here. You can see kind of this profile of the house. Here's the kitchen, but the bigger windows are kind of panoramic windows, pantry window. So this is where the windows get a little bit different from the rest of the house, but it's so that they match and fit the space properly. Again, this is a vaulted ceiling, so everything in this space, rather than trusses, this will all be open space, and we'll just have rafters that connect to that glue lamb at the top. Okay. And finally, for the back of the house, again, like I mentioned on the east side of the house, I have to adjust the size of the basement because, again, we're about 10 inches too tall here. So I'll make that adjustment just so everything stays proportionate from floor to floor. You can see the rail for the deck right in here. You have that back door from the hallway. This window is looking into into the laundry room. These windows are looking into the mud room. You have your garage here. Second floor bedrooms, second floor bathroom, and then this is the master on this side. And then this is the office down in the basement. And then again, you can see that retaining wall right here. Okay, and then just some other things that I'm working on right now. You can kind of see just more, this is getting into the structural side of it. So feel free to exit the video now if you don't care. But you can see we've got our I-joists. So these are the I-joists that are supporting the first floor. There is a beam underneath. So this beam right here, this is a 14-inch LVL, 3 of them attached together to support this big span that's in the basement. And then there's a single 14-inch LVL underneath to support the stairs right here. Another LVL 14-inch 2-ply for this. There's like a 6-foot gap in this area, and that's about the extent of the structure there. And then we get to the second floor framing. This is where I was talking earlier about probably the area of the house that has the most load on it, and it's really this joint or this connection right here. So you can see that this LVL, this 3-ply LVL, is actually extending far beyond the actual kind of floor plan for the second floor. And that's because there's a post directly underneath that, and the line of the kitchen below is actually right under here, which I think I can show that. Yeah, so you can see the kitchen is down here, and there's actually a post right here that this LVL has to rest on. And again, that beam is that beam is supporting a glue lamb that goes all the way across here, and that glue lamb is basically supporting the roof for the whole kitchen. And then we have this 2-ply LVL beam that's supporting this part of the second floor. The reason this isn't a 3-ply right now, again, it could change, but the reason it's not is because there's actually a post coming up from the fireplace right here, and there's another post on this side too. So we're not having to span like a 20-foot gap. We're actually, we span and we have a post to support it and another post to support it. And then you can see the second floor, the joists are actually perpendicular to the floor joists on the main level. So rather than going from left to right, they're actually going, top to bottom or front to back. And with the exception of the closet is actually going the opposite way. And that allows us to, what's it called? I can't remember why I did it, actually. So there was a reason for it. I just can't remember exactly why, but there's a reason that's turned that way. Okay, so that's the house. I can't think of much of anything else to say about it. That's where I'm at right now. This video is probably going to be like 40 or 50 minutes long now. I'm not cutting it or anything either, so this is just kind of raw footage, just because I want to make sure that I get all the info out there. Let's see. So yeah, the next steps for me and what I'm working on is cleaning up all of these plans that I just showed you. There's a lot of notes that I have to put in here. I have to put in the details page. So when you look at the cross sections, and I was explaining, let me go back, and I was explaining like this beam here, right? There's going to be a whole section kind of dedicated to these little details where I have to explain, okay, how many nails go in this joist, and what is this beam, and how does it really connect? So there's that. I have to talk about this glue lamb and the size of it and how it connects, and what's the size of these rafters that are connecting to it, and how do those get notched, and how do those connect. So getting into some of the finer details. So there's a whole sheet dedicated for architectural details, and there's a whole other sheet for structural details. Those all have to get drawn in. I still have to do the electrical plan and the HVAC or mechanical plan. Fortunately, I will not be doing a plumbing plan. I might do it just for my own sake, but I will not have to submit plumbing plans because we have 3 bathrooms in this house. If we had 4 bathrooms, then I would be required to put in plumbing plans. But in order to save time, I'm not going to do it, and we actually removed a bathroom that was in here. That's not to say we won't put a bathroom here. We plan on plumbing this out. But for the sake of trying to expedite this and get this done as quick as possible, I'm not going to put the bathroom in the plans. And for now, it will just be storage. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I think that'll be all the plans. Oh, and I still have to do a site map. I haven't done the site map yet. We actually went out the other day to start putting some flags down as far as where we want the house to be. So next step is I need to just measure it out and make sure it's exactly where we want it to be, and then I can plot that out on another set of plans. So we actually have a site map for where the house is at, where's the septic at, where's the power line, where are the power lines at, where is the propane tank at, where are the roads, where's the easement, are there any easements, where are the fences. So yeah, that whole thing has to get done. It won't be too detailed or take up too much time. It's just kind of a requirement that we have to do, and it makes sure that we're putting the house exactly where we want it to be. So when we have our concrete people come out, and when we start to excavate, we're making sure we're excavating in the exact spot. Yeah. So that is that. I don't think I have anything else. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Ask me here on the YouTube video in the comments, or feel free to go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or Facebook if you follow me. Yeah, So there you go. That's the house. All right. Thank you.